What's good, YouTube family? What's up, boxing community? It's CJ Sting. I'm coming at y'all with a fight breakdown video of this last weekend of boxing. What a great weekend it was, man, from start to finish. Friday night, the women's card. Saturday night, Berlenga versus Sheeraz, Zepeda versus Stevenson, and all the undercards that there were. It was a great weekend of boxing. I am so happy to be a fan right now in the sport of boxing, the boxing community. Man, I tell you, I am so grateful to be watching great fighters step in the ring and give it their all. And that's exactly what we saw this past weekend. So to start off with it, we're going to be breaking down a few of those fights. We're going to go into what's to come for these fighters and then what's going on this weekend. Another great weekend of boxing. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I know that anybody that has seen my last video and that has been a fan of this channel has known that I am a big Shakur Stevenson fan. So please, everybody, let's go ahead and give this man his flowers. Shakur Stevenson, this right here is for you. Yes, you finally did it. You showed the world what you're made of, what I've always known you to be since I started watching you back at the 130 division. You did exactly what I predicted in my video that I had. I had said that Shakur Stevenson was going to get the win. I thought it wasn't going to be close, and I thought there was a possibility of him getting the late round stoppage or the decision, and the decision is what he got. So talking about this fight, breaking down this fight, it was a good fight on both ends. William Zepeda should definitely get some flowers too. But yeah, Shakur Stevenson was the better of the fighters on Saturday night. Shakur Stevenson looked great defensively, which we all know that he typically does, and he looked good offensively. He looked great offensively, actually. He showed that a well-rounded fighter can go in there and show out and be elite and show that he is exactly who he thinks he is. And F all that theatrics that was going on as far as the Tom and Jerry goes. Turkey, the promoter, the person paying Shakur, was sitting there calling him Jerry, was saying no, Tom and Jerry in the ring, this, that, and the third. But Shakur, how I knew he was in it, and his mind was right, he spun the whole narrative. Some other boxer, they could have, heard that noise and got mad and got defensive anytime it came up. Nah, Shakur ran with that. He said, yeah, I'm Jerry, you damn right, I'm Jerry. And guess what? Jerry always beats Tom at the end of the day. And he took that narrative and he ran with it. He was a smarter man in the ring. He really did everything that he needed to do to get the win, and he did it convincingly. So shout out to Shakur. You look good, man. I'm very excited to see what your future holds for you. And the sky's the limit. Any fight can happen now. Now that Shakur beat William Zepeda, he is now able to get basically any fighter in the 135 division, because guess what? Turkey's going to go ahead and put the money up for it. He's now seeing that Shakur will stand in the pocket. He is now seeing that Shakur has the offensive bag, has a toolbox to go ahead and stand in there with any boxer and not just win defensively, but win offensively too. So yep, shout out to you, man. And shout out to William Zepeda. I mean, again, he did his thing. 979 punches thrown. He did his thing. I mean, typically, again, you see 979 punches thrown, you think that he would have won the fight, but that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. He only landed 27% of the 979 punches thrown. That goes to tell you how elite of a boxer Stevenson was. It bridges the gap between him and Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion. I think that gap got a lot closer, and shoot, this is the closest thing that we have ever seen to a defensive fighter in the last few years, is Floyd Mayweather and now Shakur Stevenson. So keep on doing your thing, man. I'm a fan. You're elite. You are now, as of this morning, YouTube, he is in the pound for pound conversation. They have him as number 10 in that conversation, and that is something that he's been saying he should at least be on the list. He's been saying, put me at 10 at least, and that's where he's at. And honestly, in my opinion, I think he should be a little bit higher in that ranking. But yeah, Shakur Stevenson is now on the pound for pound list, exactly where he should be, and he'll look to move up that list in the coming future. William Zepeda, it's not the end for you, my bro. You put on a great outing. You didn't do enough, but it's not the end of William Zepeda. He definitely has the ability to have a lot more great fights, potential to contend for a championship belt in the future, to get his belt back. And I don't personally think Shakur would take this fight, or he would take that fight again. There's definitely not a rematch clause, I don't believe, but I definitely think Zepeda has a lot more fights to come. I can see him fighting some of these contenders coming up. A fight with him and Abdullah Mason would be a good fight, in my opinion. I think Abdullah with his power, Zepeda with his punches, will make for a great outing. I think Zepeda will catch Abdullah with a few punches, more punches that he did than Shakur, and it'll be a humbling moment for Abdullah if they were to fight. And I think that Abdullah will be able to land a few big shots in the fight, and that might make it something worth watching. So make that fight, in my opinion. I think that'll be a good fight for Abdullah to get some experience. But I mean, Zepeda is now 33-1, so he's got a lot of experience under his belt. Don't really know if Abdullah's camp would go into that fight, but I think it'll be a fight to be made. In terms of Shakur Stevenson and his potential fighters, Kid Austin. I think they definitely need a squabble. I think both sides have a lot of animosity on how that last outcome ended up. Kid Austin pulling that Grey's Anatomy skit. I think that, he has to come back from that. That knockout versus Farmer again was a step in that direction, but make that fight happen. Shakur versus Kid Austin. I think Schofield, that would be a match that we all need to see. And I definitely think Shakur going to have the best of that. But we're going to see if that fight's going to be made. We definitely want to see Shakur fight Tank. That fight's not going to happen anytime soon, especially with the legal trouble that Tank got himself in. And we just hoping and praying, that Shakur or that Tank fights Roach at this point. But who knows if that fight's going to happen. But hey, I mean, if Shakur and Roach got in the ring together, that will make for a hell of a fight. And honestly, I got that like a 60-40 fight in terms of Shakur being 60, Roach being 40. But that'll be a close fight in terms of how Roach is able to fight offensively and to get in between the gaps and to really pressure Shakur into punches. And I could see that going a lot of different ways. So that might be a fight to be made too as well, Roach versus Stevenson. But Stevenson definitely has a bright future ahead. I don't see him moving up to the 140 division anytime soon. So yeah, man, shout out to Stevenson. But yeah, the main event, Berlenga versus Sheeraz. Again, if you caught my prediction video, I had predicted that Sheeraz would get the win in this fight, and that's what happened. Sheeraz got the win, but we didn't see that outcome happening. We did not see Sheeraz coming up from 160 to 168 and getting the knockout so soon. I believe he got the knockout in round 5. He got knocked down or 2 in round 4. Man, it was a crazy fight. I did not see it happening like that. That just goes to show that Berlenga's head was not there on the fight night. His head got left in the press conference, along with the dollar bills that was thrown on the floor when he was going at it against Oscar De La Hoya. Man, too much energy spent with that, bro. Like, again, as I mentioned in my last video, Canelo's your mountaintop, and at this point, you're only going to go down from there. I had said that. Sad to have it come if you wishing, but yeah, Berlenga, bro. That whole press conference, he barely was going at it with Sheeraz, and Sheeraz in there motivated. He had his mind in the right place, and you spending more time throwing ones than you are preparing for the fight. So, come on, man. I honestly don't know if Berlenga will contend for a title again. I think that he's a good fighter, not a great fighter, not an elite fighter, but a good fighter. So I think Berlenga will still get a payday in the future, might still get another shot against somebody for a payday, but a world title, I don't know if I see that happening. As far as Sheeraz goes, Sheeraz look good. Of course, coming up from 160 to 168, you would think that would be a little bit of an issue, but 168 is definitely where he should stay. That is definitely looked like he was comfortable in his weight at 168. He carried the power over with him. He had more power, looked a lot stronger in the legs at 168. So, man, the future is bright for Sheeraz. I do believe that he still has some learning curve to get over. There's a lot of good fighters at 168 who I could see him fighting. I can see him fighting like a Munguia type fighter to really get his feet wet as far as that goes, get a couple more rounds in. I think him and Munguia will match up really good as far as length goes and the ability to have power. But I definitely have Sheeraz in that fight if that were to happen. But Sheeraz's future is bright. We definitely want to see more of him. He's definitely not completely polished yet. So we'll see what happens with that. But definitely a great card. Matias got the win in that. I didn't really agree with that. I thought Pollo definitely held himself together enough to get the win. But Matias ended up coming down to the judges and getting the nod. So, I mean, you can't really be too mad at that. It was a good fight. But I definitely like to see them run it back, man. It would be a good fight for them to run that back. But let's go ahead and get into the women's card that we saw Friday night. What a great card it was. And shout out to Jake Paul. Jake Paul really did his thing in that fight, or in this card. Him promoting the women's boxing has been one of his greatest feats, in my opinion. I honestly think everything that he's brought to the boxing game, as far as this YouTube boxing goes, and the fighters that he's fought in the past, I think this right here is his biggest win. Like, for what you're doing for women's sports, right? Women's boxing is something that you should get a lot of, the theme right now is flowers. So you should get some flowers. But yeah, man, you definitely did your thing. So shout out to Jake Paul for setting this whole thing up and for promoting this card. It was a great card. We had Shadeja Green that really stepped up to the plate. She looked really, really good in her fight. I believe she definitely should have got in the win when it came down to the cards and decision. I think the judges did a great job in judging that fight. Shout out to you. We should see Shadeja Green possibly getting a fight with Shields. I think that will make for a good fight, although do I believe that Green has enough skills to get in there with Shields and win? I don't necessarily think so, but we'd have to break down that fight a little bit more to see what that looks like. But if that fight happens, I think it'll be a good fight. It's definitely worth watching. If y'all caught it, Jake Paul in the lead up to the Serrano Katie Taylor fight was doing an interview or dialogue with Layla Ali, and they were speaking about Clarissa Shields, and Jake Paul had mentioned, would you fight Shields? And Ali said, for the right price. So we could potentially see Layla Ali come back, Muhammad Ali's daughter, to come back after retirement to fight Shields. That will be crazy. As you know, Ali being an undefeated fighter, Shields being an undefeated fighter. I believe Ali is pushing her 50s. I think she's like 48 or 49. That would be something to watch. That'd be definitely something to watch. I can definitely see this fight happening. Do I believe that it's completely competitive in the sense that Ali has a lot left to give? I don't really know, but at the end of the day, you see all these other fights happening. I think these two getting in the ring together will make for great entertainment, would give women's boxing a lot of spotlight. So I think make the fight happen, especially if Ali's willing enough to get into the ring. She will be paid. So yeah, make that fight happen. I think that'd be really cool. And yeah, I think that should be something that we should look forward for in the coming future. In relation to some of the other fights that we saw, Baumgartner got in the ring after a layoff, and she looked pretty good in my opinion. She was off for about, I think, a little over a year. But yeah, man, she looked good. She got in there. She got hit a couple more, sometimes that I believe that she should have been a little bit more defensive, but I think she was really just feeling the fight out. So she got hit a few times where I don't think she should have. But she still had all the heat and her punches. I believe that with a little bit more polish, getting in the ring a few more times a year, she should look back to her elite style that she typically has. Serrano versus Taylor. I believe we got the same type of fights that we got before in a sense. It would look a little bit different this time, but entertaining, yes, but in my opinion, I'm glad this saga's over. Taylor won 3 out of the 3 times. Serrano should have got a nod in the second fight, in my opinion, possibly even the first fight, but that saga's over with. Stylistically, how they both came into the fight, Serrano should have been a little bit more aggressive. Katie Taylor being the true Olympic boxer that she is, if you're gonna fight outside with her, if you're gonna fight, just picking and choosing where you're gonna go in at and where you're gonna punch, it's gonna be definitely a Katie Taylor win, and you're playing to the judges at that point for Taylor. So Serrano press the issue, get into the pocket, get a little dirty, be the aggressor. That's what we wanted to see of Serrano, but that's not necessarily what we got. We're glad, in my opinion, that saga is over. Let's put that behind us. Serrano had a great career besides this trilogy, but moving forward, Serrano, I don't really know what other fights are out there for her. Maybe potential retirement, but maybe we'll see about that. As far as Katie Taylor goes, I think she still has a little bit more in her bag to give towards the boxing game. I can see Katie Taylor taking a couple more big fights. I think she had mentioned she wanted to fight in Ireland. So I think that would be pretty cool. I did see on X that Baumgartner had called out Katie Taylor. So I think that would be a great fight to be made. Katie Taylor versus Baumgartner. make that happen. That would be so entertaining. Baumgartner being a big puncher, being a pretty good boxer versus Katie Taylor, an elite boxer. I think that would make for a great fight and would add a lot of eyes, onto this fight. And I think that could be something that would be one of the bigger fights to be made in 2026. So yes, let's make that fight happen too. But yeah, what a great weekend of boxing it was, and we're in store for another great week of boxing this weekend. It's gonna be very entertaining. We got a lot of great fights. To name a few, we have Usyk, DeBoss. We have Fondora versus Tszyu. We have Pacquiao versus Barrios. I'm gonna be making a fight prediction video for Pacquiao versus Barrios. I think that is something that I'm very excited just to break down Pacquiao's career, what he has left in the tank, and Barrios, and his ability to fight a good fight always, no matter who he's fighting against. I think he always comes in the ring ready to fight. So it should make for a great boxing weekend. We have Bam on the card too as well. Bam looks like he is ready to continue his dominance and being on the pound for pound list. But yeah, man, Bam's on the card. Pacquiao, man, it's gonna be a great weekend of boxing as well. But also, Usyk, I think he should come out with the win again. What really could his opponent bring into the ring, what he hasn't seen already, and what other boxers have already shown him. So I think Usyk definitely gets that win. So that's my prediction for that fight. Definitely think Bam is gonna win his fight. A good odd though for the Bam fight is to get him on the prediction or on the decision. I think I saw he was like plus 380 on the decision for Bam. So I would lock that bet in or parlay that with other bets. I think that was something that I was looking at. But yeah, man, it's been a great year of boxing. A lot more fights to come. Hopefully this Roach and Tank fight end up happening. Terrence Crawford versus Canelo. Crawford looks good, man. He looks like he's bulking up. He looks like he's his mindset. He looks like he's confident. And this Canelo experience as far as Berlenga goes, Berlenga versus Canelo, that's not aging pretty well at this point. Berlenga, coming off of this loss, and Canelo just a couple fights ago, people were saying that he looked pretty slow, and he hasn't knocked anybody out in however many fights. So it's gonna make for an interesting lead up and fight once that really goes down. But yeah, man, please look out for the videos that I'll be uploading in the next few months. It is going to be a great rest of the year for boxing. I'm going to be uploading a lot more videos in relation to basketball, football in the next few months. So yeah, man, it's CJ Sting. This is another fight breakdown video. I'm out.